Okay, so this is now the second walkthrough example of this SMB Superball, and definitely watch the first one first because I'm going to explain some more general concepts about the method of solving it in that one. This one I'm just going to kind of go through as just another example. So definitely don't watch this one first. Go watch the other one, and only watch this one if you really just need more help with it. So go ahead and do a scramble. And to start, I'll try to do the same center colors as I started with before, which was green, red, yellow, and white, I believe. I think so. If that's not what it was, it doesn't really matter, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So maybe a different order, but we'll call that our first center. Okay. So we'll put that on the bottom and construct the opposite center with the other four colors that are left over. So white can't be there, but these other three are good. I'll have to replace the white with orange. And actually, for this walkthrough, I'm going to go a little bit faster than the other one, just so you can kind of see the process a little bit more genuinely, I guess. So. Definitely watch the first one first, though. Okay, so that's good, and we have the other four colors there. So now, hold those on both sides like this, and now we're working in this center ring for the other four. So let's let's put the yellow here, and how about the light blue? So the light blue is good here, and we'll need a yellow right here. So yellow lines up, light blue. So now we've started how these are going to be matched. So since red is here, red has to be down here. So we can just move that in a little bit more efficiently like that. So we have yellow. Always check everything. Yellow is good, light blue is good, red is good. And now we need orange to be right here. So let's move one up to be closer and just use a 3 cycle to move that up. And check again. Yellow, blue, red, and orange. Okay, so our third center is done. Let's move on down. Red, red, red has to go here, and orange has to go here. So let's move the red up first. And then orange has to be paired with these two here, so orange goes where this light blue is. Okay, 3 reds. 3 oranges. Now for this bottom half, this says we need green here, and this is purple. So green and purple. So let's move that white up to the top and replace that white with a green with a 3 cycle. Realign everything, check. Red, orange. These 2 greens are good. And this purple needs to, this light blue needs to be replaced with purple. Let's move one up closer. Recycle that in. So we have our 3 reds, 3 orange, the green, and the purple. So now we'll move down again for, should be our last two centers. So these 2 greens tell us we need green here and purple. Green, purple. So actually we can just move that up like that. 3 greens, 3 purples, looking at those 3 of course. And now we need a white down here to replace the blue. Let's just 3 cycle that up. realign. Greens and purples are good. Now the white's lined up, and the pink is actually already done for us. Okay, so that's good. Now onto the last center. I know I'm moving a little bit faster here, but hopefully that's okay. So, okay, good. I'm glad we ran to this case. So this is the last center, but this one is solved for the white 3, and this one is solved for the yellow 3. But this one needs to be pink based on these two, and this one needs to be light blue based on these two. So this case we can tell, actually I'm pretty sure we got this case on the first example too, which is good, that this is switched. So we need to hold it this way and do a right-handed shuffle move with this layer, and it will solve this. So we'll do that, and holding this as the front face and the up face. But the last center is on the front for all this. Move it over. And let's realign this and check that our centers are still good. The white is good, the pink, yellow, and blue. So now let's just go over the whole thing and check all of the centers, make sure they're all done. Yellow's good, red, green, white. That was our first half. And then orange is good, light blue is good, pink is good, and purple is good. Okay, good. So centers are done. And like I said before, let's just go back to our first center, which is this one, and do our 3x3 stage as we do edge pairing, and keep everything nice and organized, because it would just be a nightmare to keep track of what edge is solved, and because there are two different colors for every edge, it's like, is this one good or not? So just keep it organized is best for this sort of thing. So anyway, we'll look for stuff that's already done. Do we have a red and yellow anywhere? No, but we do have a red and green. I think we'll need that. So let's line that up all the way. So that one's already done for us. Let's look for red and yellow. I think we already did that. How about green and white? Looks like we don't have a green and white. That's a center, not an edge. So let's see if we can pair up one of those. Here's a green here. So bring that down and then pair these and break apart this red and orange. So pair that, move it up, move the bad one down, and break it apart to return the centers exactly how we had them before. So let's find that piece here and put it in properly. It's going to be flipped, I think, yeah. So that was our first one and our second one. Just make sure everything is good here still. Let me just go around the corners, make sure everything is lined up okay. Red, yellow, white, green, pink. It's always good to check just to make sure you're not getting too far into a wrong turn kind of thing. Okay, so those are done. Now let's look for maybe a white and yellow. We can pair one up. We can make one here. And we're going to break apart this purple and orange over there as we do this. So there's our white and yellow, and we'll put that in properly. redo these other ones. Hopefully that wasn't too fast there, but there's that white and yellow. And these two are also in. And now our last one, red and yellow. Let's see if we have one of those. Doesn't look like it. We'll hold this one in the back. That orange and yellow we can break apart to remember. We can pair this red with this yellow here. Pair it, move it up, move the bad one down, and return properly. Okay, so that should be, our cross is done now. And just put it back into place. Pretty repetitive, but just it's easier to keep track of this way. So let's find our red, and actually let's do our green and white next. That one's good, and our red and yellow, which we just made. Okay, so let's check. I think we have our cross. So center's good, and these are lined up with the other centers properly. It looks like. Okay, good. So we'll hold that on the bottom. That was this bottom half we just did. And now we're going to pair up these middle four edges and put them into place as we do it. So first we'll look to see if we have anything. White and pink. No. Blue and yellow. Red and orange. Green and purple. Doesn't really look like we have anything going for us. Blue and let's have it a blue and yellow. So I can flip this yellow around to the back, bring it around 180 degrees to pair up with this. That should work. So let's do an R2 there. Back 2, not 1, and return. So now we'll move that yellow and blue down to the left. You can see there to put that in place. And those first layer corners we're not going to do until the very end because we're going to be moving stuff around a lot. So that red and orange, this is actually good set up well. We can pair this together, this red and orange. Pair it. Move it up, put a bad one in place and return how it was, and then move this red and orange down to the left. Hopefully that's not too fast. So red and orange is good. We need a green and purple. And move this green down, pair it up, standard edge pairing, and move that into place down to the left. So that's good, good. So we need a blue and pink. And move this pink down here, pair it with the blue. So move it down, pair it, return exactly. Oh, it looks like we already had one maybe. Oh well. So anyway, let's see. I think I got a little lost there. Let's see. That was good. Oh, maybe it was white and pink. That's what we were looking for. Possibly. Let's see. Let me redo my cross. See, this is why I keep going back. See, I got a little lost there because I hadn't realigned my initial cross. So Make sure that's still lined up, put it on the bottom, and then we'll recheck again. Our red and orange is done. Let's put that back into place. You can so easily get lost on something like this. So it's really about organization here. Keeping track of what step you're on exactly. And, okay. We have, that's good. Do we have a pink and white? I don't think we do. Blue and yellow. Okay. When I watch this back, I'll probably be able to see what I did wrong there, but that's okay. So we'll need a blue and yellow. So let me bring that blue down to pair it with blue and yellow. Return that back and put in a blue and yellow. So this will go down to the left to line up there. Okay, that one's good, that one's good. I need a purple and green, which got kicked out of place. Put that back. And I think our last one is white and pink. So we have pink here. Let's bring this white down. Pair that up. Return our cross, and we should have a white and pink somewhere, hopefully. Here. Let me recheck my cross, make sure I didn't mess anything up. Okay, that's good. This got flipped over somehow. I don't know how that happened. Whoa. Okay. Red and orange. Now where's that? There's the white and pink. We'll go down to the right where those two blues are. Okay, now let's check. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. That one's good. Okay, so I think we have the first 3/4 done for that. For those pieces. Check our original side. Looks good. Okay, so now we're on to pairing of the last 4 edges as we do our last layer. Before we go back and redo all that stuff to put the corners in. Okay, so let's check to see first before, you know, orientation and permutation to actually pair these up properly. This one is correct even though it's flipped over, but that is a pair. Orange and purple is also a pair, even though it's flipped over. So those two are good. Obviously 2 blues aren't not a pair. You can never have 2 edges together like that. And this one won't be a pair either because orange is opposite pink on this scheme. So let's just cycle those around a little bit. So we're targeting these blues and these two because these we have already defined as being correct, these 2 pairs. So we're just going to do that standard edge flip move that you do on 4x4 to get these to go together. And this will mess up some other stuff in the 3x3 stage that we'll have to resolve and kind of go back and forth. So we're going to pair these up by bringing it forward and then doing that flipping algorithm. and return exactly. So now, that did work, I think, but I'm going to go back again and repair that original cross. So we need to repair that yellow and white here. Looks like everything else is okay. And then redo some of our edge placements, even though they shouldn't have been broken up at all, just moved around a bit. Let's get our white and pink back into place. Just like that. Let's find our purple and green, which is down here. Actually, we'll kick it out with this blue and yellow. Put our purple and green in. And let's check to see what we have. That's good, 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 good. Now I'll check our actual edge pairing of the top four. So blue and pink, that's flipped over, but that is a good pair. Pink and purple is flipped over, but it is a good pair. Purple and orange, flipped but good, and orange and blue. Okay, so again, this looks like it's going to be a parity case because we have 1 out and 3 in. I'm almost positive. So I'm going to do that same long parity algorithm and then continue as normal. It will mess up one of the center rotations, but I can redo that as we go. Let me just make sure that all these are actually flipped properly. Okay, yeah, so this being the up face, front, right, we're going to hold it this way with this edge, the standard edge flip. Okay, so let's go back to our cross. Again, always go back to the first cross. Make sure everything's okay, and then it'll be this. You can see that 90-degree center rotation we got there. So we're gonna just redo that. No big deal. And then those edges that we also pushed out. That one's good. We need our red and orange. Good, 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 good. Okay, those are all done. Now let's go back to the top four. So for every step, you have to do a bunch of retracing your steps, but that's just part of the challenge of this. So this one is now paired up. Blue and pink, that's a pair. Make sure we didn't separate anything. Okay, so this one is actually lined up. That's flipped the right way. That's flipped the right way. So this is an L case, I believe. Yep. So we should have a cross now. Pretty hard to tell just by looking at it. That's good. Good, good. Okay. So that's lined up. that's lined up, that's lined up, that's lined up. And we'll see if we have any corner parity, but it looks like we should be safe to go back and do these first 4 corners now. And then we'll see. Right now we have a 180-degree rotation, which is easy. We'll see if we encounter a 90 once we go back, but I don't think we will, but we'll see. So again, go back to the original cross and put these corners in. Okay, find our yellow corner. Just simple beginner method stuff. That seems to be a theme on this channel, using the beginner method for really complicated puzzles. Go figure. Maybe someday I'll learn F2L, but I just don't have the time. I just don't care. So let's see. Yellow, white, green, red. Now let's check the centers. Okay, and for like the 20th time, put in these middle edges. I mostly just care about actually being able to do the do the solve rather than doing it quickly. And obviously something like this, doing it fast, is basically impossible with a 30-minute to an hour solve. So, you know. Okay, so that half is totally done from our original center, and the upper part looks good. Those 3 groups of 3. Now let's go back and get our cross. Oh, already done. Okay, good. And we should have an easy case, so that's good, 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 good. Let's get our corners in first. And it looks like we might have corner parity, which is interesting. We didn't get that before. So first, obviously you can see we have a 180-degree center rotation. Actually, the corner thing might make another difficult case for us. But first, let me just fix this thing so this 180-degree center rotation to make this look a little bit easier to recognize. Okay, so this still being our top right here, our last center. The blue corner's in and the purple, but this is switched with this. See that? That's basically the only thing left to do. So what this is going to require is that little r move from, well, it's not my algorithm, but I talk about it in that Supercube tutorial, which definitely go watch that, because you won't understand any of this if you haven't watched that. So basically hold this from anywhere, and we're going to do that algorithm. It probably will screw up a bunch of stuff again, which is the theme of this, just retracing your steps a bunch of times, but that should solve it okay. So let me try to do that. Okay. Oh, maybe it doesn't mess up as much as I remember it doing. So let's see what that did. That's paired up. Okay. Just put these back. Okay, good. I thought we would get this case. So that one's lined up, that one's lined up, that one's lined up, and that one's lined up. So now let's put these corners in, even though, can you tell what case that is? I talked about this at the last of the other one, the other walkthrough, is that what looks like you need a 90-degree center rotation, but we'll get to that in a second. So let's try to put these corners in first, actually. And one more. Okay. So let's take a look around, make sure everything else is good. And all the corners are in, and it looks like we need a 90 degrees counterclockwise rotation of that center. Can you see how that looks like that? So obviously that's impossible to do normally. So we're going to use, as I talked about before at the very end example of the other solve, the first one, is we're going to swap out some equivalent pieces, which will make a normal 3-cycle case for us to do. So let me look around, and I'm going to use this light blue and put this light blue where this light blue is. Okay, so to set this up for a right-handed 3-cycle, I want this light blue to go up this way. So I'm going to set this up so this light blue is going to be replaced by this one in this sort of right-handed 3-cycle, okay? And that will set it up so we can actually solve this. And I'm only turning the middle layers to preserve everything else too. Let's realign everything. So that center that we borrowed a piece from is now back to normal, unaffected. But now look what case we have. So it's no longer a center rotation as it looked like before. It's a normal 3-cycle. So the blue is good, and you see how these three, I'm going to give you a second to look at that case. You can tell what needs to be done there, right? So the correct one is in the bottom. Look directly across, which way it has to roll over to the left, holding this on the bottom. So the pink will roll over this way to be solved. And we do a left-handed shuffle move going up this way to solve the rest of this puzzle. So let's give that a shot. Move it over, and one more. Okay, and we just realign that front face, and it's solved. So that's basically all there is to it. Pretty tedious and super redundant, but that's just, to me, that's the easiest way to do this. I'm sure there's much better ways. I'm almost positive there has to be better ways to do it than that. But, you know, you can figure that out for yourself if you want to. But, you know, considering this is the very first day I've ever solved this, I think I've put, what, 4 solves in now? But the method works, so that's all that really matters to me. So, but yeah, that's how you solve one of these puzzles. And like I mentioned in the first video of this, you'll definitely be seeing some higher order versions of this, because honestly, I think a 6x6 would be awesome in this design, and even more difficult. Maybe an 8x8 at some point, we'll see. So yeah, if you want to check out this puzzle on my Etsy store, the link is down there in the description. And thanks for watching.